we continue our study of India, it's important we study India's empires. India had many small kingdoms around 500 BC. Around 325 BC, an Indian military leader named Chandragupta Maurya built a strong army and took over almost all of northern India. The Mauryan Empire. In 321, the Mauryan Empire began as a dynasty, and a dynasty is a group of rulers from the same family. The Mauryan Empire is credited with unifying or bringing together all of India. This empire had a very strong army, and their army used what was called mercenaries, which are hired soldiers, so they paid their soldiers. Many historians believe that the greatest rule of the Mauryan Empire was actually Chandra's grandson, Ashoka. So let's talk about Ashoka. Ashoka ruled from about 237 BC to 232 BC. He was a strong military leader who grew to hate war. After a very bloody battle, Ashoka decided to convert to Buddhism and spend the rest of his life promoting peace. Once Ashoka converted to Buddhism, he worked hard to spread the Buddhist teachings. He sent missionaries throughout India and Asia. Through his efforts, Buddhism became one of Asia's largest religions. In India, Buddhism became popular because the lower people, or people of lower castes, liked this religion because it didn't support the caste system. Under Ashoka, India became the center of the huge trading network. This network extended all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. He built hospitals for animals and people. He built new roads that actually have these rest areas for travelers to sit and kind of relax. And the empire also tolerated other religions. Ashoka died in 232 BC. The leaders of the Mauryan Empire that followed Ashoka were not very good leaders. They forced merchants to pay high taxes, and they took peasants' crops without asking them or paying them for them. So that made people very upset. In 183 BC, the last leader was killed, and the empire split into many different kingdoms. So the Gupta Empire. For the next 500 years after the Mauryan Empire, India's small kingdoms fought one another. Finally, in year 320, or around year 320 AD, Chandragupta, now that is the same name as the founder of the Mauryan Empire, but this is actually a different name, or a different person, founded the Gupta Empire. Under his grandson, Samudra Gupta's leadership, India reached its golden age. The Guptas practiced and supported Hinduism. They built temples, and they paid for people to create beautiful works of art to honor the Hindu gods. The Gupta Empire eventually fell to the invading group called the Huns in the late 400s. The next empire is the Mughal Empire. This was an Islamic group that began to invade India, or what was then known as South Asia, in 600 AD. An Islamic empire was established in 526 by Babar. Babar's grandson, Akbar, was known for his tolerance of very diverse beliefs. In 1648, Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal, which is still there in India today. It's a very famous place in India. That Taj Mahal was actually built for his wife. It was a tomb for her. And our last empire in India's history is the British Empire. The British, along with many other countries, wanted to trade and colonize India. After the discovery of a trade route that actually had them going around the Horn of Africa to India. And so what they wanted was Indian goods such as teas and spices. Britain began to colonize India in the 1600s. They gained control of India in the late 1800s through what was called the East Indian Company. Now, it does say company, but the East India Company was a front for the British government. And in 1857, Britain took total control of India. Now, it is very important when we study in India's history that we talked about a guy named Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was a non-violent protester who was influenced by Hindu beliefs. One thing you need to remember is non-violent. Okay, he did not condone any violence to make a point. He wanted people to understand that you could make an impact without any violence. Gandhi was the face of what was called the Indian National Congress, or the INC. They opposed British control of India. The INC boycotted British goods and institutions. Eventually, Gandhi was arrested for his political work with the INC, But soon after he was released from prison, Gandhi decided to leave the INC, and he wanted to focus solely on helping the relationships between Hindus and Muslims in India. And his main purpose was to heal India of all its conflict. Sadly, though, on January 30th, 1948, Gandhi was assassinated by a radical Hindu.